Hi Scorpio, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your April 2021 Bridging the Gap love reading. Thank you to those of you who like, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as the way the Bridging the Gap spread works, is the cards on the left side represent your energy toward the connection with your main love interest. Cards on the right side represent their energy toward the connection. And we'll get the past energies, present energies, future energies. Once we're done with all that, I should say. Move on to the Oracle cards for some additional guidance. That's where the Bridging the Gap dynamic comes into play. And as far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, and on the right side we have the Tarot Sexual Magic. Also keep in mind it's a general reading, so I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as your energy and the cards on the right as the other person's. If you feel like in your connection it's the other way around, then definitely trust that. Alright, so with all out of the way, we'll get started. Past energy on your side, we have King of Coins, which is Taurus energy, and Judgment, which usually I view as Scorpio energy. So this could just be saying that you might have actually reconnected with this person and tried to turn the connection to a stable connection. So for a lot of you, I feel like this is someone you probably have significant history with, at least as far as time goes. Now, let me see. It's hard to pinpoint when the timeline would have been on that. For some of you, it might have been back there in Scorpio season when we had the Taurus full moon that you guys might have tried to start this up. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing there. That looks like there was an attempt to reconnect and turn the connection to a more stable connection, given that Taurus is your opposite sign of partnerships and relationships. Past energy on their side, we had a few cards come up. We have the Magician, Queen of Pentacles, which is Capricorn energy, and Knight of Swords, which is Gemini energy. So I could actually see this pointing to a few different things. For one, it could just be saying that if they found you a bit standoffish when it came to communication, because for you guys, Capricorn is your house of communication, and if we just look at the energy of this card, it looks like someone who's a bit self-absorbed. It looks like they're staring in the mirror, don't even really acknowledge that that person's there at all. And we see like the snowy cold background out the window. So it could just be saying that they might have been really trying to get you open up around communication. That's one way I can see it. For some of you, it could just be a push-pull dynamic that you guys might have gotten involved with as well, because with that King of Coins energy, that can represent a bit of stubborn energy sometimes, and it could have just been where you guys were having a back and forth trying to get control over the connection. So that's what I see there. In the present position on your side, we have the Prince of Staves in reverse, which is actually the equivalent of the Knight of Wands in traditional tarot, which is Sagittarius energy. And we have the Seven of Staves, which is Leo energy. So to see this come up in reverse, to me, says that, you might not really be taking any action toward the person. You could still be keeping an eye on him, given that he's looking toward the direction of those cards. But with that Seven of Staves, I could see that pointing to a couple of things. It could just be saying that if they try to advance toward you, you might actually decline them. Or for some of you, this could just be saying that, you might still have a desire for this person, but for whatever reason, you might be fighting against it with the Seven of Wands there. So that's what I'm seeing with that. Alright, present energy on their side, we have the Eight of Swords. So usually that's a really stagnant energy, not really knowing how and when to move forward in the situation. With this deck in particular, it always stands out to me that it looks like she's almost looking over her shoulder at that figure. It looks like they're in the staircase there. And so for some of you, it could just be maybe they still have someone else in the picture, or maybe they're otherwise involved, but they're still thinking about you from the past, and maybe that's what has you a bit, holding back some too, because you might feel that there's someone else in the picture, and you don't want to really get wrapped up in that. But for some of you, this could just be saying that this is their own demons that they're facing, that they're still trying to get over. In general, it doesn't have to represent another person at all, technically. Alright, the future energy on your side, we have Desire, which is the equivalent of the Chariot, which is Cancer energy, and the Three of Arrows in reverse, which is Libra energy. So, interesting energies here. This could just be saying that For some of you, maybe there's physical distance between the two of you, and that could be what's going on. Maybe there's always a back and forth dynamic as far as travel goes, and in the future position, it could just be where you guys actually might find that you're going to be in the same area on a more permanent basis. And that actually helps you put the heartache behind around the connection, right? Because maybe that was the cause of the inconsistency between the two of you. For others of you, even though at the time of recording this, we haven't had that Libra full moon yet, but, even though this is showing up in the future position for the April reading, could be pointing to that timeline as well, as maybe that's what actually kickstarts some of the healing within the connection. Or toward the end of April, I will say Mars is actually going to move into the sign of Cancer, which that might spark some things for you guys romantically there, especially if they are at a distance, since for you guys Cancer is your ninth house. Let's see if anything else comes to mind with this combination. But yeah, it could just be saying whatever heartbreaks and disappointments you guys were holding on to from the past in the connection, for whatever reason, looks like they're actually going to be resolving. And the future position on their side, we have the stars. So this is actually Aquarius energy here. And the star card is the card that comes right after the tower in the major arcana. So, like I was saying there, for those of you where maybe it was just this person had their own demons that they were still dealing with that Eight of Swords energy, looks like they're finally going to have that behind them. And that could actually be what helps bring the connection back together, where karmically you guys are just on the same page. So, there's still plenty of energy in Aquarius, but there's not really anything immediate happening in April, so I don't necessarily see it pointing to a timeline in that regard, but that's why I see there. All right, bottom of the deck on your side, we have the Three of Staves, which is Aries energy. Usually it's that energy we refer to as waiting for your ships to come in. Now, this could just be you guys, feeling like you've already put in a certain amount of work toward the connection and kind of taking the stance of leaving it in the other person's court, right? Like the ball's in their court. I put in my effort. If it's going to go any further than this, they're going to have to actually, play an active role in that. And I could definitely see that could be the energy you guys are in the present. So that would make sense in that regard. And the bottom of the deck on their side, we have Judgment. So, you guys had that in the past position. They have it at the bottom of the deck. So yeah, it could just be saying that, on a faded level, you guys are still tied together. I do have to say, for at least some of you, it could even be that if you guys, did reconnect in the past, it could actually be a child that's reconnecting you. So there's definitely the possibility of that. But yeah, more than anything, I feel like this is just saying that this is coming back around again for you guys to look at. And it looks like there's definitely, quite a bit of growth and maturity in the future position. Where, like I said in the past, could have been some stubbornness going on, and then it looks like you're just not really putting energy into it because you might see that this person isn't ready in the present. So it might take a little while, but in the future position, things look pretty promising. All right, so next we'll take a look at the oracle cards. First, we'll see if we get anything for an Aqua Moonlight deck here. I did pre-shuffle this deck, but I'm just going to be looking for jumpers here, as far as unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. And if I shuffle for a while without anything coming up, we'll just move on to the next oracle deck. But sometimes we get additional messages here, so we'll see if we get anything. All right, nothing coming up there, so we'll see if we get any from them to you now. nothing there either, so we'll move on to the Wisdom of the Oracle deck now. Same situation here as far as I pre-shuffled this deck as well. We're just going to be looking for one card here with general advice to wrap up with. Alright, I'll just put the deck down and we'll pull a card, so give me a few seconds to tune in. Okay, we'll go with this one here. We have Milk and Honey. There's the artwork, and the number is 51. So we'll see what it says. Okay, it says the taste of prosperity, opportunities born of authenticity, nurturing abundance, trusting that your needs will be met. The Oracle's message: you've entered a sweet time in your life, enjoying the land of milk and honey that everyone wants to experience. It's an interlude that feels more languid than ambitious, when all your senses are awake to the unlimited possibilities in the universe. These times are precious and only come when you're in your authentic zone, wearing the world as a loose garment, not wanting, yet able to be nourished in ways both tangible and subtle. Abundance is an energy that you are a living part of. All your needs are being met. You are given the gift of nourishment in every form. So, pretty positive message there, and like I said, didn't look like things were too great between you guys in the past, and in the present it looks like they're still working through some things, but like I said, the future energies definitely do seem to be a lot more supportive on both sides, so hopefully that resonated. But the relationship message says sensuality, connection, and passionate romance between lovers, sweet moments of understanding, and love among friends and family are all here for you to savor now. Your heart's calling will be answered. Let your thoughts and feelings be sweet with gratitude, and you'll be nourished with the honey of abundance. So again, pretty positive message there. I will say you guys are going to have a full moon in your sign toward the end of April, so for some of you that could possibly be, when this timeline actually shifts for you guys a little bit, where you could get some healing going there. But overall, like I said, it looks like things will improve with you guys. Hopefully that resonated. We'll wrap up there, and we'll see you all next month. All right, bye.